Hello everyone, it's me, Louie here, and something interesting that I realized is learning. The fact that we can learn from experience that we had or experience from other people, it's just amazing. Literally when people think about learning, they probably think about going to school, even though we all know that's absolutely a lie, because 95% of the things you learn in school, you won't remember. And most people learn from TikTok or YouTube or just content creators in general or video games. You know how much times I end up realizing that something in Minecraft happens in real life? I don't know, you could burn sand to make glass. Wait, you could do that in Minecraft? That happens in real life? That means Minecraft is an educational game and everything that happens there happens in real life. But you know what's something that all of those things have in common? They all teach you one lesson, and that is ask for help. And asking for help is okay. And today, I'm asking for your help because I need to know if I'm watching shows wrong. One thing that I've realized about myself is that when I watch stuff like media and TV show, I realize that I have never cried ever watching a movie, reading a book, or doing anything like that. And does that make me extremely weird? Now, the reason why I came down to this conclusion is because I watch a movie. The movie I ended up watching was Demon Slayer Mugen Train, and I ended up watching it with a group of people. The ending of the movie, I guess spoiler alert for the movie if you ever care about watching it, but the movie is super old. A character at the end of the movie died, and during that character death, a lot of people ended up crying. Now, I already watched this movie before. This was my second time viewing the movie, but it made me think about the first time I watched the movie, because the first time when I watched the movie and the character died, I was sad. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't go completely soulless. I wasn't complete straight face. I was moved a little bit, but I never gone to the point where I started crying. I wasn't like on the tear breaking down, and it completely changed the way I live life, which is what other people realize. I've watched most of the movies that made people cry. I watched most of those movies and ended with them mostly completely fine. And this is not just crying and being sad either. This is the completely other side with angry and being pissed off at media too. Because another thing that I realized is something like Velma. Velma is a show that I talked about a lot, and we all know the story. This show released. The show is really bad, and a lot of people kept on talking about it. But I realized there are some people who are generally angry. There are some people who are so pissed about this show existed that they made every single moment of their life just absolutely talking about it. I'm not talking about YouTubers. Of course, there's going to be YouTubers who's going to review every single episode of their show, and they mainly do it because it makes ad revenue. You making fun of a show like Velma, it's just a guarantee how to get more views speedrun. You could be like, oh my god, episode 1 was terrible. Episode 2 was terrible. Oh my god, episode 4 was terrible. And you kind of repeat the same things over and over again, like, oh my god, look how bad this show is. Kind of like what they did for High Guardian Spice. That thing that came out, I think that was last year. That came out that was bad, and some YouTubers literally reviewed every single week of the show, which I literally don't know how you would do that to yourself, because that just seems like boredom any percent speedrun. Have you ever tried to watch an episode of any of these? They're so insufferable. But that aside, when these shows come out, there are some people who get so angry at these shows, all they do is talk about it and you bring it up. I'm assuming that if you go to some group of people and you bring up a show like Velma, it will instantly make them fume in anger. Their show will turn red and start FIFA phone and kicking over desks and tables, being absolutely rage, daring the fact that you bring up this show in front of them. But when I ended up watching the show, yeah, I was bored, but I wasn't really that angry about it. I ended up just seeing the show and move on. I ended up going like, wow, this show's extremely cringe and bad, and just move on with my life. Another thing was Last of Us Part 2. That was another thing that came out, and a lot of people were mad about it, and I saw the gameplay and I saw what they did with characters like Abby and stuff, and Ellie, and I was like, wow, that's kind of cringe, and I just move on. But some people are still mad about that today. I guarantee for a fact that there's someone hearing me say those names already made them activating an episode of absolute mania and rage. But I just have came down to the conclusion, is it a me problem? Because literally when I see people overreact over the show, I literally go like, oh, it's just them being overly sensitive and them being super duper angry. But I came down to the conclusion, am I the person who's doing stuff wrong? Am I playing games wrong? Because another thing was Fire Emblem Three Houses was another game that I played a lot. I put over around like 300 or 400 hours of that game. I put a lot of hours in that game and I played it multiple times. And this was another game that a lot of people say that made them had emotional outbursts. It was games that made them cry. And I remember playing that game and being absolute straight face. There are so many other media, so many other stories, and so many other things that I have watched. The list goes on for me that made people have these intense reactions, and I haven't. So am I doing something wrong? Am I watching media wrong? And this has been something that has been haunting me for a while now. I have been thinking about this a lot, and I need to know official answer. So one easy way is to ask you people. I cannot be the only one like this. I'm literally that guy searching for someone who says, oh, he's just like me for real. I'm just searching for another one of them. I can't just be the only one. Please. Tell me, am I not the only one? Please say the answers down. Anyway, this is just something I want to talk about. My name is Louis. Don't forget to do the YouTube thing. See you.